ECU?
R.
Do you bleed purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
Welcome into Hoist the Colors here. Stephen, you've gone blank. There he is. Stephen Igo, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm back for now. I keep getting kicked off. I don't know what's going on with our technical difficulties. But yes, welcome in to Hoist the Colors. Philip Pilkington bringing us into the show. He's back in the 94.3 The Game studios. We also have our buddy Kaysen Rameli on the show. I'm scared to pull up any window on my computer now so I don't get kicked off, so I'll hold off from doing that for now. But we are live on YouTube and Facebook. First off, gentlemen, Kaysen, how you doing, man? I'm surprised you didn't go tarps off to begin the show after the experience you had in Dowdy Ficklin on Saturday.
I sure did think about it. I thought about it, but I was like, you know what? This is a family-friendly show. We're not going to do that to start off, but if Philip fires me up like he did yesterday, I might go tarps off. So we'll see. I had a fantastic time at the game. We'll be sure to get into it, but yeah, boys, glad to be back on here.
Stephen has frozen. I think he's having technical issues on his end. Every time he goes to open another window, it's kicking him off. So, Case, I got to find a way to get you fired up then, because we need to see the tarps off. How long did it take you to go be a part of it? Because originally, correct me if I'm wrong, you were sitting on the other end of the stadium, right?
So I actually stayed over there. So we were in section 11, also the family section. I'm 99% sure, right above the bench. So
yeah, it's over by the Murphy Center side.
Yeah. So we were there, a bunch of my boys, and we saw like directly diagonal the students start doing it, and then my best friend James takes his shirt off, and then the people in front of us saw us doing it because we were at the top standing, and then all of a sudden people just started mass following us up top. So we had a smaller section across. We never did make it over to this boneyard because it was just at that moment in the game. We didn't miss a game going under the concourse. So we had a nice, strong section up there. And even Scott Lorbatcher was in the section next to us. He joined us in the tarps off up there, too.
Well, obviously, you guys were not the pioneers of it, but I do appreciate you guys joining in from afar. Obviously, yeah, probably smart not to go over there and join because if you joined, like I said, you probably would have missed a big play. So, first off, man, it was great that it happened. The tough thing, I think, and Steve and I were kind of talking this yesterday, like, it's crappy that it's your final home game of the 2025 season. Now, the one perk is you open with App next year, not with an FCS opponent. So, fingers crossed that this can keep some of the Pirate Nation together because, you are like me, Kaysen, where you grew up in this state. You didn't grow up in an ECU household, but you grew up hearing all the great stories of ECU. And unfortunately, in our time here, we just haven't seen quite that level of fandom. And now we've got it or had it the other day against Memphis.
Yeah, and that is without question. And I actually got a little emotional during the final there because, like, I've wanted this for so long. And just like you said, I never really saw the peak that Steven saw. I kind of grew up watching it, but like not like living it. So seeing that was amazing. And also there was a small part of me that was like all in these freshmen and sophomores, all these kids in the boneyard, like y'all are so lucky. Like I wish that I had that during my time.
Oh, yeah.
But then again, I'm so happy for them. So happy for the university. I just really honestly cannot believe that. I mean, I still cannot comprehend it, to be honest with you.
All right, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you don't sound very good when we hear you.
Okay, well, I'll see if I can fix it. Can you hear me good at all?
Yeah. You just don't sound like you're speaking into a nice microphone. You sound like you're wearing earbuds like you are.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll try to fix it during the break. I don't know what the deal is, but anyway. So just a crazy experience. By the way, we are scheduled to have tomorrow one of the guys who started the tarps off situation in Dowdy Ficklin. Now, there's some controversy over who exactly started it because there's another radio station that's having a different guy on that says he started it. Our guy says he also played a role in starting it, so we'll get to the the Clear Picture on Wednesday show. He's going to join us right at noon. We'll also have Kevin Rowe, so I'm looking forward to that. But, man, what a special time inside Dowdy Ficklen. And, Casey, we were texting during the game, and, for the first time in a long time in Dowdy Ficklen especially, even when – obviously when Caton fumbled, I was like, all right, ECU's probably – there's a good chance they might not win. But, for the first time in a long time, I felt like the crowd – at an ECU sporting event outside of baseball was willing the team to victory. And you were obviously a part of it. Did you kind of get a sense of that too?
Yes, without a doubt in my mind. I mean, and you hit it perfectly. Outside of baseball, we have not had a crowd kind of will a team. I mean, basketball, we'll get into that later. But football, I mean, it's just been tough, and just having that beautiful stadium, one of the biggest stadiums, if not, I'm pretty sure the biggest stadium in Group of Five, just being able to not just, I mean, we didn't even fill it out, but it was so loud in there. And like you said last week, how even if that stadium is not full, but if the crowd's into it, if the fans are into it, if the students are into it, that is a hard place to play. And you could just feel it, because after that fumble, me and my friends looked at each other like, oh no, do we put our tarps back on? Do we kind of switch up the mojo? But no, we kept swinging them. Students moved down too close to the field. And it was just like you said yesterday, even when they faced that adversity, the crowd never let up. They kept going, and they willed them to victory, which is just absolutely special. It's just, I mean, I've dreamed for something like that forever, and I cannot believe it still right now, like I said 2 minutes ago.
Casey Bailey with us, Philip Pilkington back in the 94.3 The Game studios. I know my audio doesn't sound great, but we're making it through. At least I am able to hop on. I'm going to try to get my regular computer restarted. I'm on my laptop for the time being. But 94.3 The Game, if you got a question, comment, concern, drop it in the chat, and we'll get to it. We are going to do a little bit of a path to the playoff for the American today, and also a potential path to the playoff for ECU. But right now, let's focus on the conference race specifically, guys. And we'll get more deeper into it. But if you just look at it, I've got some numbers that I can pull up here in a little bit. But essentially, primarily down to the 4 one-loss teams. Of course, you've got North Texas. You also have Tulane. Navy is technically in first by half game at 6-1. They obviously play at Memphis, and both those teams are off this week. So it's kind of a good thing that for ECU, I'll get into it in a minute, there may be a scenario you want to see Navy win that football game, which I'll get into. But, also it makes it a little cleaner if Navy goes ahead and loses in addition to one of the other 2 one-loss teams outside of ECU. So a lot to get into here. Navy at 6-1. South Florida drops to 4-2 in the conference with their second loss, and just a disappointing loss for South Florida. I guess the good news is, guys, before I get into these exact scenarios, is the teams that keep getting ranked immediately get knocked off. We saw Memphis get ranked. They go down to Tulane. We saw USF get ranked. They immediately go down to Navy. Now, we'll find out tonight what the college football playoff poll says, but we do know that the AP poll has ranked both North Texas at 22 and Tulane at 24. So, I've always said, look, North Texas is a 17-point favorite at Rice. More than likely they're going to win the game. But I do think within their program that has never really been in this spot, so I'm curious to see Case and how they handle it on the road at Rice, which, by the way, is still playing for a bowl game. Tulane's got to go to Temple. I mean, that's really their only losable game left because they play Charlotte at home the next week. So what are your thoughts on kind of the other teams involved right now before we get to ECU?
Well, first and foremost, if I've learned anything in college football this year, is that it doesn't matter your record. It doesn't matter who you have on your roster. You can lose at any given moment, kind of like any given Sunday, but any given Saturday, Thursday, Friday, whatever, or Tuesdays, Wednesdays if you're in the MAC, I guess. But I just think that, I mean, like you said, 17-point favorite, but exactly like you said, they've never been in this moment. Are they ready for this moment? And like we questioned going into last week, is ECU ready for this moment at Memphis? And is Memphis versus Memphis? And we were clearly ready for this moment. So do I think that North Texas is ready for that moment? I think so, because if you look, they've put up 453 points. I mean, and that and Rice has given up 279 points on the season. I think North Texas just attack. And then again, the other teams, I mean, if we do make the championship game, who is the team you least want to play?
Honestly, I mean, that's a great question. I think I would rather I feel like ECU could go on the road and beat North Texas. They did it last year. I am scared of their offense, but look at what North Texas looked like against South Florida. They look like they didn't even belong on the same field, and that's now a 2-loss team in the American. That's really the only really good team. They did beat Navy, but I think talent-wise, I put South Florida, Memphis at the top of the league, followed by ECU, North Texas. And, for me, obviously, Navy is kind of a different animal along with Army just due to the offense they run. But I would not be scared of Tulane after seeing the way ECU played at Tulane. They know they can win there. They just didn't close it out. And I wouldn't be scared of North Texas. Honestly, I think the team I at least would want to play is Navy just because of ECU's history with Navy. I don't know, Philip. What's your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, the most talented in and through roster, I think the team that is universally going to be feared the most in this is South Florida. I think they've invested more than any of these other teams and are the most built for the moment. As for an ECU-specific question, yes, I would like to avoid Navy. We've already proven that we could beat Memphis and South Florida. A lot of similarities when it comes to those things that you worry about: size in the trenches, skill set outside. And East Carolina's proven they can win that kind of football game. So I'm going to build off your point there and say Navy.
All right, so a lot to play out. Let's first talk about ECU here. ECU, I think, has the toughest path to making the conference title, and it starts with the schedule. ECU, by far, to me, has the toughest remaining game of any of the one-loss teams outside of Navy going to Memphis, as ECU's got to go to UTSA. UTSA has won 24 consecutive conference games under Jeff Traylor if you count the conference championships in Conference USA that they hosted. Now, if you just go regular season Conference USA and American games, it's 22-0. If you go the rest of them, it's 24-0. As we know, there's been, I think we heard 19, we heard 27, we heard 25. Yesterday we heard just about every number possible. It's actually 24-0 if you go by all that. So either way, 24 consecutive home games. And then you've got a tricky game at FAU. I honestly, though, would rather have this game following the Memphis game than FAU. I feel like FAU is kind of a more sneaky, sleepy team. You're not going to have any fans there. It's Boca. You can kind of to me, you can kind of sleepwalk through that one. If you're ECU going to UTSA, all you got to do if you're Blake Carroll is throw up the number 24-0, throw up the film of the Tulane game, and I think you get everybody's attention immediately. If ECU loses this game, to me, it's not an issue of a letdown. It's more of a scenario where UTSA is just really good at home. I don't know. Maybe I'll misread the situation, feel better or feel different Saturday if they do come up short. But I think mindset-wise, ECU will be ready for this game, Casey.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think they're going to throw up those numbers. And I remember watching that Tulane UTSA game, and Owen McCown was 31 of 33, 370, and 4 touchdowns. Absolutely lights out. I mean, it's not going to be easy at all. And I'm a big superstitious guy, and I love talking about scenarios. But I was talking with my friends yesterday on the phone, talking about scenarios of the championship, and in the back of my mind the whole time, I'm like, we just got to beat UTSA. We just got to take it one step at a time. Got to beat UTSA. And I like what you said about how glad the Roadrunners game was up first instead of FAU, because going down there to the Miami area after this big win over Memphis, I don't think would be a nice recipe. But I think if you can go into UTSA, you can win that massive game and end that streak. Then you can end the season at FAU and be like, you know what? We need to take control of this, grip it by the horns, and win this. So those are my thoughts on that.
Philip, early in the week here, but what is your vibe? I'll be honest, I'm leaning towards picking UTSA, just because I think it's more about UTSA just being really good at home, and Owen McCown in the Dome scares me. It's not that I don't believe ECU is going to be ready. I just think they're a different animal there. But, as far as, to me, like, we'll talk about all the scenarios, and we'll talk about that more next, like Casey said. But to me, this is more about, and this is obviously what the team is focused on, this is more about, can ECU win arguably the toughest remaining game of any contender left this weekend?
Yeah, I think that East Carolina can win this game. I think that Blake Harrell has this team in the right mindset. And speaking with the players yesterday during media availability, then talking to them last night after the coaches show, this team understands that they're going to have to bring it. They're going to have to play just as well, if not better, to win this football game. I don't think East Carolina is the issue. I think it comes down to is UTSA Alabama at home? And to this point, they have been. Yes, Tulane didn't play a very good football game, but also, to Cason's point, Owen McCown did play a really, really good football game. So, it comes down to sometimes teams are just so good on one given day that they're unbeatable, and that's what worries me. Are they going to be so good that they're unbeatable? Because I think if they do anything that makes them look beatable, this team is going to jump on it, and this team is ready to go, and this team understands, how big this contest is. We lost you, Steven. Yeah.
All sorts of issues today. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get a break in. I'll try to hop back on my regular computer, see if we can get our audio back up and running the right way as I rebooted that. But this is Hoist the Colors. We'll continue to run through the scenarios. We also have why the American champ, even if it's ECU, why they should be in over James Madison, even if the Dukes went out. We'll talk about that. Much more fun discussion on the way. This is Hoist the Colors.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt & Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt & Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout Eastern North Carolina. You get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arg!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Every ECU fan's one stop for all things ECU athletics. This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors here on a Tuesday. I think we're back. I'm not trying to jinx it, but hopefully the audio sounds much better now. We've got 94.3 The Game studio. Philip Pilkinen standing by. We've got Kason Rameli as well back home. He was in the Tarps Off mob on Saturday. Got some TV time. Also enjoyed a night out in the town, sources say, on Saturday night. All right, we got some comments here. We'll get more into this. People want to know. Will Landon says, will you be in Wilmington tonight? I will be driving there this afternoon. We'll get more into that maybe segment 4. Tim wants to know how much ECU will lose by tonight. Only 6.5-point dogs. Shocking there. I'm not gonna lie. But we'll see, man. Rivalry game. I guess anything can happen. All right. I want to continue on a little bit further in the American title picture, kind of a conversation there. We talked about ECU's path, and let's talk about the other teams involved, their path, because I was surprised. Speaking of surprising lines, I was just looking during the break. Temple is only an 8.5-point underdog hosting Tulane. I thought that number would be in the double digits, and we talked about Rice at North Texas. And then you've got Temple at North Texas to conclude the season. If Temple wins one of these games and ECU wins out, there's a good chance the Pirates are in the American. We'll talk about Navy in a second. But do y'all think Temple can get it done, Philip? Can KC Keeler get the win this weekend?
Yeah, I think part of the reason this line is as close as it is because Temple is not a bad football team, and on top of that, as you mentioned, they're sitting at 5-5 right now, with these two being their final games. So this team knows this is their last chance at home to go out there and clinch a bowl. They will not feel good about going on the road to Denton to take on a very tough Mean Green team. So I think that's part of the reason this is so close. And to answer your question, do I think they can get it done? They absolutely can get it done. Whether they will or not is another question. But when you sit there and you see that you're just one game away from bowl eligibility, that lights a little extra spark for you. You know, I think if this team was coming into this at 4-6 and would have to win both of these contests, I would not feel as good about them. But knowing they just have to win one of these football games, I think is going to be the extra drive and motivation they need to at least be in a dogfight in one of these two. And it wouldn't surprise me if it's this Saturday when they host the Tulane Green Wave on Senior Day.
So, again, if you want to know who to pull for this weekend, obviously ECU over UTSA, Temple over Tulane, and also, as we talked about, Rice over North Texas. So here's where it gets confusing, fellas. I pulled up the latest, I guess you could say, computer metrics, the average. All right, so because there's a scenario where ECU could want Navy to win the final game to make it more of a tie. Now, if one of Tulane or North Texas loses and ECU wins out, then you would just want Navy to lose to leave zero doubt. But if everybody wins out, essentially, here's what could happen. I'm looking at the computer metrics. What the college football playoff rankings mean is this. If any two teams are ranked in the college football playoff rankings and there's a multiple team tie, those teams are going to go on to the conference championship. So tomorrow's rankings are pretty important to see, because those will be the last rankings before the final regular season weekend, and that's what the American uses. So if you're ECU...
No, there'll be rankings next Tuesday.
There will be, but the American will not use those. Oh, no, you're right. Those will be the last rankings.
Yeah.
The rankings right after the regular season will not be valid.
Correct.
So the last rankings will be next Tuesday, but still worth watching tonight because you don't really want North Texas and South Florida ranked. Or, excuse me, North Texas and Tulane ranked. Because if those two teams are ranked and they win out, they're going to get in. Is basically what it comes down to. We know ECU and Navy aren't going to be ranked. So basically, if North Texas is ranked, that's probably a good thing because they're the highest in the metrics. Nobody's catching them from what I'm seeing. Tulane, metrically, is just ahead of ECU. The average Tulane metrics that the American will reference for unranked teams is 41.25 as of this weekend. ECU is at 44.25, 3 spots behind them. Navy is at 49.0. To give you some context here, North Texas's average ranking is 29.5 across like 5 different metrics. So what I'm saying is North Texas is at the top of the rankings in the metrics, probably going to be in the top 25 due to having one loss, etc. Tulane's catchable and Navy's catchable. Now, Tulane has the head-to-head over ECU, so if it's just between Tulane and ECU and there's a three-way tie between North Texas, Tulane, and ECU, what will happen is North Texas would automatically go due to their ranking, and then it becomes a two-team tie based on the American tiebreakers, which would allow Tulane to move on via the head-to-head. Now, if Navy were to win and then North Texas automatically goes and you have a four-way tie become a three-way tie, then it goes to computer rankings, if that makes sense, which ECU could theoretically, depending on the final two games, pass Tulane. Does that make any sense, or am I too into the weeds here?
It does make sense, but I hope someone wrote it down. Holy cow.
It's a lot.
That was a lot.
It is a lot. And this is another reason why we just need to go back to divisions, but I don't know, man. Or at least have more balanced schedules.
Who was I talking to the other day? And it was like, man, if we'd had the college football playoff back in the days of the 8-team conferences, nobody would be having these stupid conversations right now. When the Southwest Conference was 8 teams, the ACC was 8 teams, the Pac-8 was 8 teams. Like, everybody had 8 teams.
So the easiest way to look at this is this, I think. If Tulane and North Texas both win this weekend, then I think at that point you want Navy to go ahead and beat Memphis. Because Charlotte is not going to beat Tulane. That's just not going to happen. We agree on that?
Yes.
Right. Charlotte barely beat Monmouth.
And Temple could beat North Texas in Denton, but I wouldn't put my money on it. So, again, a lot of it depends on the college football playoff rankings, which the last ones that will be referenced are next week. So still, there could be a scenario where North Texas and Tulane are both in the top 25, but it just feels like the committee doesn't really want to rank a group of 5 team. So we're getting way into the weeds here, but that's kind of the scenarios. Of course, ECU's got to handle business. And I don't know. I feel like there's got to be a better tie-breaking system. But like a lot of leagues use common opponents first. The American uses these analytical numbers. Is that the right way to go about it, or does it? I don't know. Usually we don't get to this point, so we don't have anything to complain about.
The tough thing about the common opponent goes back to the unbalanced scheduling, right? So let's take 2 teams in the NFL who are for the final wild card spot. If those 2 divisions didn't play each other this previous season, the number's going to be 5. They're going to have 5 common. Well, I guess it could be 6 now with that 17th game. If they're 2 in-division teams, it's going to be 14. That is what it is. You're looking at the record in those specific games. So I think that's part of the rear. Sorry, 12, because you eliminate the 2 games that play each other as well. But when you do common opponent, it's like, well, I have 6 common opponents with this team, but I've only got 4 common opponents with that team, and those 2 teams have 7 common opponents against each other. Then it becomes just kind of a whack crapshoot. That's the issue.
Yeah, I think at this point you can make an argument to go back to divisions, but then you probably have a year where you have 2 of your best teams in the same division, and then they don't get to play in the championship. So, I think it goes back to what Philip said. No matter what scenario you go with a 14 to 18 team league, you're gonna run into this potential issue.
You have divisions and you have like multiple rounds to the playoffs of your championship. Like every other sport in college athletics, it's not just A and a B go to the championship. You have a tournament. That's what you need. You need a tournament. So put the top 4 teams in or the top 6 teams in, and then play it that way.
Scrap conference championships and make it a true play-in tournament.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that. I don't know, Case, any thoughts here?
That would be wild this year because it would be right now it would be us and Navy and then North Texas and Tulane and then the winners play each other. That would be good TV. I think a lot of people around the country would watch it. I think this is, I know on my side, on my social media algorithm that I'm seeing a lot of American talk of people talking about how, people need to pay attention to this American race. You got 4 teams with 1 loss. And then, Phil, I think that's a fantastic idea. So would you shave off a conference game or how would you do because coaches and people will definitely complain about, that's too many games. Someone will.
Yeah.
I almost think you shave off a non-conference game. But
yeah, you could do that. Or you know what you could do? I mean, if we've got 14 teams, you do an East and a West. You play 6 conference games. Take the top 2 maybe from each division, and then they play 2 more games. That would have you still playing 8 total conference games. Or maybe you take the top 6, or the top 3 from each division, and the 1 seeds get a bye. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm for it.
It would make it a lot more interesting, especially if we keep going down this path. And I know there's probably some people listening like, why are we talking about this? Like, ECU still got to win out to even be a factor. We're just running through the scenarios, and it's good to be talking about this on November 18th.
Yeah, what were we talking about on November 18th last year? I mean, we were like, hey, well, it looks like we're going to a bowl game. No chance at a conference championship. Blake's doing a good job.
Yep. No championship. I guess we were talking about head coaching then, but
yeah.
That was one of those things where it was just kind of, if without the head coaching change, it just would have been like, yeah, are we going to the Military Bowl or the Myrtle Beach Bowl for an entire month? So instead, we're talking about championship. All right, let's get a break in, and we'll come back. We'll have the conversation, the American champion, regardless of who it is, why they might deserve to get in, over James Madison, which has really good metrics, but has beaten 0 teams. We'll tell you about that and more. This is Hoist the Colors.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown. At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Hoist the sail! Climb aboard as we set sail and hoist the colors.
Ahoy, me hearties!
Back to Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors here on a Tuesday. We got Casey O'Malley hanging out. He was in Dottie Ficklin Stadium on Saturday for the big win over Memphis. Philip Pilkington producing today. We're having a fun discussion. We talked college football playoff a little bit. We'll get more into that now. Just ECU and the American. I'm looking at the odds, guys, on DraftKings. ECU not even listed as a potential option for the college football playoff, but you can still get Navy and South Florida at plus 3,000. Now, if you look at ESPN Analytics, ECU's got a 1.5% chance to make the playoff. That's the same as South Florida. Navy, I think, at 1.7. So, essentially, the path would be this. ECU wins the American, and then the argument becomes ECU probably versus James Madison. I don't think San Diego State could get back into it, but they could be a possibility as well. They have a 1.3% chance of making it. So, I tell you what, before we dive further into this, do we have that cut ready to play, Philip, from the Cover 3 podcast?
I got it pulled up on YouTube. Fingers crossed, no ads played during the middle of this. Sorry. Got back a little bit.
Okay. We'll try to make this worth. We hit an ad, we can pick it back up. But, yeah, this is Cover 3, CBS Sports Podcast. Tom Fernelli, Chip Patterson, and Bud Elliott talking about why ECU could be a playoff contender and the American champ should get in over James Madison.
First place, the Navy Midshipmen, 6-1. Tied for second, Tulane at 5-1. Tied for second, North Texas at 5-1. Tied for second, ECU at 5-1. Let's play those on Monday, right? Okay. Scenarios. Bud, you good with that? Or are you running math right now?
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking like James Madison resume. What? Yeah, we could say for Monday. I do wonder if JMU, if it's JMU ECU as a debate. I wonder if JMU clears them.
No, okay. Because if it's a one-loss ECU,
then whoever they'll
have beaten Memphis. Or no, it won't be one loss. It'll be 3 loss. But they'll have beaten Memphis, and then they'll have beaten North Texas or Navy in the AAC championship, which will be better than any win JMU has because I will point out Southern Miss got dog-walked by Texas State tonight, so that hurts James Madison's likely strength of schedule even further. And also Louisville lost. James Madison's high point on their resume is losing by 14 to Louisville, a team that might finish 8-4. JMU is not getting in. I don't care what the odds say or what the sports line model says. They're not getting in.
And I think that you wanted to hear the very next thing I go based off the time you sent me, but
he basically just said the American champ is getting in.
Yeah.
Period. So, Case, and there it is, man. Pirates have a shot at the playoff. Do you agree?
I do. I 110% agree, and I 100% agree that the American champion should get over the Sun Belt champion because, I mean, come on, the Sun Belt has just been not good this year, and the American's been up this year.
I was going to say, does the Sun Belt as a league have like a single win over a marquee team? Like, like in non-conference. Like, South Florida beat Florida. Yes, Florida's down, but it's still Florida. Memphis beat Arkansas. Yeah, Arkansas is down, but it's still an SEC team.
Tulane beat Duke and Northwestern.
Yeah, and Northwestern turned out to be solid. Duke's solid. You had USF smack Boise. Like, I just feel like the overall, like, it feels like the American is such a better league. And James Madison's a great team. You put James Madison on a field with ECU, I think James Madison's favored. But I think the champion of the American, regardless of the losses, and look, if you gave James Madison, hey, man, you are playing at NC State, which is basically comparable to the Louisville game at this point, and y'all are playing BYU. They're underdogs in both those games, I believe. So they probably have 3 losses. Why should ECU be punished for playing NC State and BYU? I think the argument's there. My problem is the committee is going to look at, hey, ECU, if they were to win the American, they're going to have 3 losses. I just don't know if the committee can stomach putting 3-loss ECU into a playoff. That's what I worry about. But the resume, the American champ should get in.
Yeah,
I agree without a doubt.
Oh, go ahead, Casey.
Go ahead, Phil. You got it.
All right, so here's what worries me. Yes, we've gone from 4 to 12, but it's the same committee. And the committee was not only responsible for the 4, they were always responsible for the 12. the 12 that got into the New Year's 6 games. Let's go back to 2023 when Tulane was 11-1, hosting the conference championship, lost to a 2-loss SMU team, and they decided to put an undefeated Liberty team who hadn't beat anybody, who had the worst strength of schedule in all of college football, into the New Year's 6. They lost to Oregon by like 50 instead of putting in an SMU team that went on the next year to play in an ACC championship game. And I know they didn't know that was going to happen, but the point is they have historically, and now it's different. I know New Year's 6 as opposed to college football playoff, but still the same committee, have favored the better record over the better resume.
And they were supposed to change that this year. According to the College Football Playoff Committee in the offseason, we're going to value strength of record and strength of schedule. But the rankings haven't really reflected that. By the way, James Madison, as of today, has the 119th strength of schedule nationally. So, and again, you could argue for James Madison, but obviously this is an ECU-centric show. I just think if ECU runs the table, and like they pointed out in the podcast, if ECU wins the American, they're going to probably have to go on the road and beat a North Texas or Tulane or beat a Navy. So, like, you're probably getting a top 25 win there, which would further bolster your resume. I don't know, Kason, your thoughts here?
Yeah, there's no way you can put JMU over us if we have this win over Memphis and then you have a win over said team, whoever we beat on the road. So just to be clear, is there zero chance we host? What is the chances of us hosting?
I mean, it's not zero, right? But what would most likely have to happen is we would have to win out, and everybody would probably have to have 2 conference losses. Okay. But I mean, then you go to that weird metric thing again. So
if everybody wins out, or excuse me, if ECU wins out and everybody loses, ECU would host because they would be the 1-loss team, if that makes sense. Now, the only scenario, the only metric I think they could win, like we were talking about, is if you had the Navy situation head-to-head, you could probably win those metrics because there is no head-to-head.
Yeah,
and if there was
technically
losing. Yeah, I mean, ECU could technically jump Tulane, but to make up 3 spots this late in the season is tough. It is worth noting Tulane plays, like we said, Charlotte and Temple, whereas ECU plays 2 better metrically rated teams. So, like, if ECU goes out and dominates UTSA and FAU, I could see it. But what's the likelihood of that? Not very high.
But then if you're only in a 2-way tie with them, they're going to give the head-to-head to them anyway. So,
yeah,
I guess the only way you want a 3-way tie between you, Tulane, and Navy, and then maybe you're ahead in the metric, and then you get the home game. But I mean, South Florida, North Texas, man, it's going to be tough for one of those 2 to lose.
You mean Tulane and North Texas?
Is South Florida not still a 1-loss team?
Yeah, they remember they lost to Navy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we did.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Well, I mean, lately everybody that's been getting ranked is losing, so we'll see what happens. Some comments here. James Malice is in the chat. Old buddy, Cason's buddy says, big Temple fans the next few weeks. Kenneth says, if we win out and win the American, our strength of schedule and quality wins are far above JMU. Ra says, let's just make the title game first. I still don't see how we make it, even if we do win out. Again, we're just talking about the scenarios, but I understand the talk. And also, Kenneth says, if JMU struggles with Washington State and Coastal, that is your answer. North Texas and ECU blew both those teams out. I mean, that's your best case scenario, obviously, is ECU winning the title, and then James Madison losing to Coastal. ECU has a 38-0 win over Coastal. But even a close game, you would have a clear data point there. I think it's a much different Coastal team personally, but still, that could play a role. Some more talking points. Robert Dedrick says the Temple coach is still talking about how good ECU is in his presser yesterday. KC Killer, I guess, loves the Pirates. Maybe he's the one who voted in the coaches top 25 for ECU.
It's what it is. It's probably because he doesn't want that. That's probably the worst game they've played all year, other than Oklahoma. Sure. And so he's like trying to put this thing like ECU is really damn good.
And at this point, I mean, they could have beat Army on the road, and hopefully, for the Pirates' sake, they find a way to win one of these next 2 games. What do we think about this comment? Corsair says, I think the Power 4 conferences should have a national championship game, and the Group of 5 should have their own playoff. Let's face it, if the American team plays in the national championship, they're against teams paying up to $50 million per year. Good luck with that. Look, Kaysen, we'll let you lead off here. I'm very much against the Group of 5 playoff, but what do you think?
I am against it, but in that same breath, I do understand that if this East Carolina team lined up against Ohio State or like a Texas Tech, I don't think it would be the greatest thing in the world. But hey, you never know. You never know. But I'm definitely against the Group of 5 playoff like you. But in that same breath, I don't want to say it like I just said it. But I mean, yeah.
Well, my thing is then you've got 3 divisions of Division I football. We already have 2.
That's true.
Football's the only sport with FBS, FCS. So now you want to go to 3. I understand the point behind it, but it's like at that point, do we just go down to FCS? Yeah. Do we just make the Power 4 the FBS and then combine the FCS? I mean, I don't know. The tough thing, I mean, hey, Butler made a national championship in basketball twice in a row. I know basketball's a lot different than football, but it's happening in other sports. We have a really small sample size in football. Let's get that sample size up. And last year's Boise State team, didn't have the ability to throw the football past Boise State teams. But I think if you stick Kellen Moore with Ashton Jeanty, we're having a much different conversation right now because I think they at least win 1 game and stand a chance to win it all.
Yeah, and I know that the game didn't go how Boise wanted to, but they didn't look completely just overwhelmed. I think this year's Group of 5 is more of an outlier in terms of there's no dominant team. I think there's going to be most years 2 or 3 really good teams, and maybe you could make a case for James Madison being that. I don't know. After what I saw USF do to North Texas, I can't buy into the North Texas hype. I know they're really good offensively, but I feel like you can't just get dog walked at home by USF if you're a true national championship type caliber team or contender, I guess you would say. I don't think a Group of 5 team will ever win the national title, but I certainly advocate for a seat at the table just because it makes the conversation so much more fun. And yeah, I know there's going to be people who say that. As we have somebody in the chat, Monkey Glock says 9-3 Vanderbilt gets knocked out, but would plow through the whole G5. Look, I love Diego Pavia. If Vandy played at ECU, I'd give ECU a puncher's chance. Is Vandy really that good?
No, and I'll be the first thing to say, if Diego Pavia has no haters, I'm dead. If he comes into Dowdy Ficklen Stadium, Tegan Wilk is putting his head on a spear.
I love it.
I love it. Pirates here.
Mike
Give me the
Wright
Pirates if
revenge
Vandy
game.
comes to Dowdy. Give me the Pirates right now.
Mike Wright revenge game. I love that as well. Hey, look, I love the Vandy story, but I don't know. I don't think they would plow through the whole G5, but they're pretty dang good. So, all right, let's get a final break in. We'll come back. We will wrap up the show after this.
Hurry to Greenville Toyota for model year-end savings on a Camry. Just $229 a month. $229 a month. Or new RAV4, $279 a month. $279 a month. Only during our model year-end move-out. Right now at Greenville Toyota.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
It's Greenville Toyota's model year-end move-out. Save on a new Corolla, just $149 a month. $149 a month. Or new Tacoma, $249 a month. $249 a month. Now get a move on and save at Greenville
Like all
Toyota.
Pirates, Stephen Igo is loyal and bold. He may also have a touch of scurvy. Back to Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors, final few minutes here. We have Casey and O'Malley hanging out. Philip Pilkington back in 94.3 The Game studios. Monkey Galox has followed up on his Vanderbilt comment. He says, LOL, Diego Pavia is a cornball. But anyway, thanks for responding to my comment, gentlemen. Go Tigers. So LSU fan is in the chat. This is what happens when you talk playoff, Casey. You get LSU fans tuned into ECU shows.
Yeah, for real. Good luck on your coaching search, pal.
How's our buddy Joe Sloan doing? Look, we love Joe, but a tough run for him to finish out his time at LSU. Kenny wants to know, are any of the bowl games aligned with SEC versus the American? East Carolina will go play Vandy anytime, anywhere. So I think the Gasparilla Bowl, there's a chance. You had Tulane, Florida there a few years ago. There's maybe talk of the Liberty Bowl being an option. It's not an American bowl, but I've heard that if ECU goes 9-3, doesn't make the title game, it could be a possibility. So those would be your possibilities, but not a direct line.
Isn't one in like UCF Stadium, the Camping World Bowl or
Cure
something
Bowl.
like Cure Bowl?
I think that one's more MAC or G5, as far as I know. I do think there's two in Orlando. And the other one I know, I think the Camping World does have a tie, but that one's not aligned with the American.
Okay.
So
that might be SEC, ACC, actually.
Yeah. So, but there can always be some bowl trading in this day and age. So, look, if the main thing is this: ECU continues to win, makes themselves a more viable, attractive team. They're going to end up, I think, in a good bowl game, more than likely. So, that's the main thing to remember, even if they don't make the conference title. All right, quick synopsis. ECU basketball. Have to get your take on that, Kaysen. You are a basketball guy first and foremost. What's your thoughts on the team thus far? What's your thoughts on what happens tonight?
Well, it's an interesting team. I got my Trayvon LeBeau jersey on right now, waiting for our Kings return. He might turn the season around for us. But we'll
back.
see. Tonight, I don't know what's going to happen because, all right, now, Wilmington, I did watch their game versus Kent State that they lost to, and they just got dominated on all fronts. So, but this Wilmington team coming in had all these transfers, and I think they're a very good team. But if you lose that game, it's just a strange one. But then again, ECU's last game, I mean, it's just not very ideal. 1 point loss to me, you, and Philip out there. But hey, it is what it is. Steven's making the trip tonight, so it's a great environment. Steven, enjoy it. With that being said, take a third of your paycheck out, put it on Seahawks -6.5.
I am saying UNCW by 18. Look, you want to, and maybe we're being negative. ECU just beat a Division II team by 1 point, and I understand there were some circumstances in the game. But if you want to go and get us back on the bandwagon, go win at Wilmington, man. Do something ECU hasn't done in 17 years. If ECU wins tonight, everybody's happy. Nobody's complaining. I don't even care if it's a bad Wilmington team. It would be a massive win. I don't know, Phil, but can they get it done? Flow College, man.
Flow Sports, or is Patrick calls it ESPN Bulgaria?
That's basically what it is. Flow College, baby.
Steven, can you just FaceTime me the whole time? Just prop your phone up and just move it the whole time.
You sure you want to watch?
You're right. I'll pass it. We got some great games tonight, don't we, Philip?
We do. There's some great games. I got the Champions Classic tonight. Excited for that one. And I just wonder, though, guys, what would Steven's, punishment be legally if he live streamed the game? Is that against the law?
I'm pretty sure it is. The Flow College / ESPN Bulgaria people might come after me and hunt me down. So if I don't make it back from Wilmington, you guys know why.
There you go.
All right, we're about out of time. Kaysen did send me a funny tweet I have to read from Tulane head coach John Summerall. Quote, "We're an average team. I watched this practice today. We're average. If we're a top 25 team, there must be a lot of bad football going on." So that's John Summerall himself, Tulane's head coach. Thought that was appropriate with them being now ranked in the AP top 25. We'll see if they're in the CFP top 25 tonight. It's been fun talking championship, college football playoff scenarios. Kaysen, appreciate you. Philip, appreciate you as well. We'll get you back on soon enough, Kaysen. This has been Hoist the Colors. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 12 noon.
943thegame.com and on your IBX Media app, on Twitter, Facebook, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Tune in weekdays at noon to get your ECU sports fix with Steve.